Over 6 billion people live on the planet Earth. Thinking of them as a tribe of 100 people, there would be 60 Asians, 14 North and South Americans, 13 Africans, and 12 Europeans. 30 tribe members would be Christian, 18 would be Muslims, 13 Hindus, 6 Buddhists, and 33 would be other faiths, including, of the 100 tribe members, 1/4 of one would be Jewish. Within this circle, there was a woman named Ruth who created the Barbie doll. A Jewish woman created Barbie. Maybe Barbie can explain something about how this generation responds to being Jewish today. Since the old days, Jews refer to themselves as members of the tribe. But what does it mean to be a member of a tribe in the 21st century? A tribe is a group of people with something in common. For example, a tribe of hunters, a tribe of gatherers. Tribes can have other things in common, like interests or family. A tribe may have within it a smaller group or subset called sub-tribes. For example, the American tribe includes the sub-tribe of Democrats and the sub-tribe of Republicans, as well as many other sub-tribes. Although sub-tribes may disagree, they remain members of the larger tribe. Within the tribe of girls, there's the sub-tribe who love horses, and the sub-tribe who love Barbie dolls. Even within the tribe of boys, there's a sub-tribe who loves Barbie dolls. There's also a large sub-tribe that doesn't love Barbie dolls. But all sub-tribes can agree, Barbie doesn't look Jewish. Barbie's creator was named Ruth Handler. Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts. Not such a Jewish name. Throughout her doll life, Barbie's had hundreds of identities. She's been astronaut Barbie, flight attendant Barbie, presidential candidate Barbie, and wedding Barbie who wears a diamond ring. Diamonds are formed when carbon is subjected to intense pressure over long periods of time. They're also a girl's best friend. Diamonds are often exchanged as part of Western marriage rituals. All tribes have marriage rituals. In the Jewish marriage ritual, the groom breaks a glass. This is symbolic of the fragility of life and in remembrance of the past. The American Jewish tribe has many sub-tribes. They're often arranged in terms of how observant they are: Orthodox, conservative, reform, renewal, unorthodox, orthodox, atheist, and many other sub-tribes. Ultra-Orthodox, modern Orthodox, Hasidic, Reconstructionist, the Super Jew, the Kabbalahist, the Catholic who's into Kabbalah, the Jubu, the Julu, and the Hindu. Outside of religion, there are many cultural distinctions between Jews. For example, in New York, everyone seems Jewish. While in California, no one does. All American Jews share some things in common, like culture, heroes, and stereotypes. Too pushy, too greedy, too materialistic, too Jewish American princessy. In America, we don't have princesses. We have celebrities. The glorification of celebrities creates a culture of insiders and outsiders. Throughout history, the Jewish tribe has been treated as outsiders. As a result, Jews feel a special empathy with fellow outsiders. Maybe this also explains why they invented a bread with only an outside. Although Jews are often outsiders, when they meet other Jews, they feel like insiders. One might say the essential Jewish perspective is standing outside and looking in. America loves stories of outsiders becoming insiders, insiders becoming outsiders, and quintessential insiders like Barbie. Barbie is viewed as both an icon and as a false idol. There's an old story about worshiping idols. It starts with an idol worshiper named Terah. He had a son named Abraham. One day, Abraham heard a voice that said, "If you believe only in me, I will make the Jews into a great nation and give them a homeland flowing with milk and honey. You just have to do one tiny little thing for me." Abraham married Sarah, and they had a grandson named Jacob. Jacob had a dream of a ladder with angels climbing to heaven. Later, Jacob wrestled with an angel who gave him the new name Israel, which means to wrestle or to struggle. Jacob fathered a daughter and 12 sons that became the 12 tribes of Israel. Later, after Moses led them out of Egypt, the Jews got impatient and started worshiping an idol. Moses lost his temper. They weren't supposed to worship idols. However, going to sunny places to worship idols is a hard habit to break. Idolizing Barbie began in 1959. Ruth Handler named the Barbie doll after her daughter. She also named Barbie's boyfriend after her own son, Ken. The Barbie doll was hugely successful. Ruth then discovered she had breast cancer and left Mattel, the toy company she co-founded. Surviving cancer, she then went on to found a prosthetic breast company, thus making 2 fortunes from plastic boobs. Barbie's anatomy is highly exaggerated. If a real woman had Barbie's dimensions, she couldn't stand up. Walking upright on 2 legs is a skill that primates acquired in what the archaeologists call the Pleistocene era. The first records of Jews were found in Egypt in 1300 BCE. Some archaeologists believe ancient Egyptians called Jews Habiru, which means strangers. Wherever Jews went, they alternated between prosperity and persecution. They weren't allowed to own land and were often uprooted, so it was difficult to carry material possessions. They developed portable identities and rituals. They were forced to choose professions they could take with them, like money lending and stone cutting. When Jews had to leave, diamonds were often essential to survive. They hid them in their clothes and in their teeth. Because Jews were strangers, outsiders, and mobile, they were often blamed and scapegoated. The idea that these outsiders might get inside often led to false accusations, persecutions, and murder, forcing them to disperse again. This dispersion is called the diaspora. Without a homeland, the Jewish tribe was on the margins for thousands of years. Since the Holocaust, Jews have promised each other, never again. In 1948, a Jewish state was recognized by the United Nations. Its founders named it Israel, to wrestle or to struggle. What all Jews have in common is persistence, thousands of years of withstanding pressure and surviving against the odds. At the core of all tribes is the instinct to survive. Fight. Flight. Blend in, just like Barbie. When Jews first arrived in America, they also blended in. They changed their names, and sometimes their appearances. Ruth Handler's father fled persecution in Poland and came to America in 1907. Ruth Handler modeled the first Barbie doll after the German Lily doll, a sexy toy for men that became popular after World War II. Ruth brought this Aryan ideal of beauty to America, changed her name, and achieved the American dream. Maybe Ruth instinctively knew that Barbie would not only survive, but prosper. And prosper she did. Over 1 billion Barbie dolls have been sold. That works out to around 77 Barbie dolls for every Jewish person. And today there's a sub-tribe of American Jews who grew up with Barbie in an assimilated world. But things have changed. The idea of assimilation is being challenged. American Jews live in a multicultural world where cultures now circulate and intermix freely. And this new freedom allows them to redefine and reclaim their connection to tradition. These Jews like to remix music. Cultures and codes. Their type of Judaism is more of a roll your own. Some in this generation are religious, but many are not. While they don't belong to a temple, they, like other tribes, may connect through culture or family or food or humor or arguing or just plain guilt. Their parents may have outsourced their Jewish education, so these Jews went to Hebrew school, reluctantly. But many got their Jewish education from Hollywood. This generation wants fewer sermons and more conversations. They do believe in healing the earth, but when they get a sermon on Tikkun Olam, they may think, Kumbaya. They may define kosher differently. Their version of the Talmud is the internet. These Jews may know less about Kabbalah than they do about yoga. Sometimes they marry outside their tribe. They're pro-choice, as in they choose to tell someone if they're Jewish. They rarely experience anti-Semitism directly, and when they do, they don't always speak up. These Jews may not be sure how they feel about Israel. To their parents, Israel was clearly heroic. For today's young Jews, things may look less clear. When speaking to those who aren't Jewish, they may defend it, but internally, they may be unsure. They can believe in Israel and not agree with all of its politics, just as they can believe in America without agreeing with all its politics. Among their Jewish friends, they don't really talk about it. They are part of a whole generation with portable identities and professions, and they have many names for themselves. A cultural Jew. There's the culinary Jew. Some Jews say,
I'm an agnostic.
Or,
I'm an American.
Or,
I'm Jewish. Jewish, yeah.
Or,
I'm a feminist.
Or,
A Jewess.
Or,
I'm unaffiliated.
Or, I'm a bad Jew. Or,
I'm a bad Jew.
Some who, rather than saying that they're a Jew, they might prefer to say they're Jew-ish. Before answering, they may ask,
Who wants to know? You Jewish?
and for both outsiders and insiders, Jewish identity can be perplexing.
You're Jewish? Wow. You don't look Jewish. You don't act Jewish. And he says it in this tone that sounds like he's complimenting me. And I say nothing. I say nothing when which combined with a flirty smile translates to thank you. I say nothing because I'm drunk on denial coladas. I say nothing because I got a contact high of someone's anti-Semitic crack pipe. I say nothing because somewhere along my life's graph, I've been swayed to believe that being Jewish is not too cool, not too sexy. I say nothing because I'm in a deep sleep, a snow-white coma, destined to meet my prince 5 years later in the form of stone in Jerusalem named the Wailing Wall. Our lips press, flesh to cool granite. I place folded paper with written prayers for the dead in a nook. In a nook in the wall next to a woman with concentration camp numbers tattooed on her forearm. Surrounded by fervent praying and bodies swaying, I am far more awake than I ever thought possible. I suddenly remember the exodus of the Israelites, and I walk barefoot from the wall in the desert to the bar. Bartender, tell me I don't look Jewish. Tell me I don't act Jewish. 'Cause I'm thinking, I'm saying, what does Jewish look like to you? 'Cause I'm the Hebrew mamita, long-lost daughter of Abraham and Sarah, the sexy oy-veying, matzah-eating, chutzpah-having, non-cheaping, non-conspiracizing, always questioning, hip-hop listening, Torah scroll reading, all people loving, pride-filled Jewish girl. Bigging up all people who are a little miffed because someone tells you you don't look like or act like your people. Impossible, because you are your people. You just tell them they don't look, period.
Each generation wrestles with old questions in new ways. What does it mean to be Jewish? What does it mean to be a member of any tribe in the 20th?